Okay, so we'll see that one. Okay, and manage. Uh, so where is that core administration? If you go in here, and we have some data import exports, and if we export any supplier, I think supplier export. So like we have another session scheduled. We will be discussing about this. So this is related to the administration and core administration part.
Sure.
Okay. So whatever we do is basically whenever we need to maintain the data, we need to upload some special files. And if you see, these are some, as soon as you search. So basically what I have done is I simply gone to the core administration and I gone to this one, data import. So generally whenever we are uploading any data into the system, we always upload the data from data import export folder. Okay, so import is nothing but when you want to upload the files that I have showed you, right? There are two files coming in when we are uploading the supplier side, right? Last time that I have shown you. And export is the same way. We need to, if we need to first, we can download and we can see what exactly in there in the file. Okay, and if you see, this is the download data dictionary. I'll show you this one also. It's possible that can be. So basically download data dictionary is nothing but if you download this one, so whatever the fields or the files that you are using in your what I say in your Ariba portal in your organization, whatever the fields has been activated for you and all, so that all the summary is there in the data dictionary for the format for all the showing the follow. I think this will not open. No, this will not open.
So does it mean to say, like, means if I am using let's say two module, one is contract and one is supplier management. So
Yes.
I will download this, so I will get all the files for these two modules only. Am I right?
No. So it will provide you the brief of all the modules. So you can find out whichever the module is required. So it's not specific to the module. It's specific to the like it's a general. It's a complete dictionary, if you can say, from that perspective.
Sure.
Okay. So that's how it is. So, it's not going to open in this way. Okay, no problem. So just a second, I'll show you here that CSV file format. So CSV, I'll maybe once we have this CSV file, I'll just show you on the Google side. So it's nothing but it's exactly simple, looks like this one, the Excel one. But the file extension, as you save the files, right? The files you save, the Excel files, is the format having .xls, right? So that way. But whenever you saving this file, you need to just have it a .csv. So that is the extension. So basically, that the main difference is it's the extension. Okay, it can, you can open in the same, it opens exactly a little bit similar type like a Excel file only, but it's just that we need to have this. If you see, this is a image, so if you open, so this is a CSV file, if you say in the CSV format. Okay, but what happens is, if you see here, it's just that .csv. The format that we say is it's just .csv. So I just want to show you is here is, so whenever you trying to upload anything, you need to always maintain this CSV file. You cannot upload anything in the Excel. It will give, the system will give you the error. Okay, so this is how basically this is as simple as Excel only. There's no specific you think any special needs in there. That's not that way. It's a simple file, but we need to, whenever we are saving, like for example, you have created a file and then you want to save it, so you need to save as CSV rather than going for an Excel or CXL or something like that. Okay, so always try to use it as a CSV. So this is the one part, and we have, okay, so this is one thing. Okay, now we'll go again for the supplier side, in the SLP side.
Can you open this data dictionary, please? Vijay, I want to see that, how it looks like and what are the things.
Yeah, so
vanilla.
yeah, so I'll show you. I'll show you. So data dictionary will basically we have that administration one. What do you say session, right? So in that session we will be discussing this thing, and apart from all the administrative and the core administrative part. So we
Sure,
have a session scheduled in well.
sure.
Okay. Okay. So we'll manage. I'll go for sorry. We'll just open the SLP side, supplier management. Okay. So last time I think we have six in registration, right? So we try to create uh, which one? We try to create. I forgot the name. Can you guys help me with that? I think we tried this one.
Yeah,
See here.
I think yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's all.
Okay. No problem. So what I do is let's create another supplier request, and today we'll create with Pankaj ID. Okay, for the Pankaj. Okay, just a second. Sourcing request. Quickly, I'll just show you one more time this thing. Okay, so test supplier, sorry, for Suresh, sorry. So right, last time we created for Pankaj, so this time we'll create for Suresh. I'll just put no in here. Okay, and we have this. So oh sorry, what is this is called sourcing request. Oh sorry, clicked on wrong. Create supplier request. Where it is supplier request.
I created one, Vijay. That A team, right? That's my one.
Okay, that's your one. That's good, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you created you done okay registration part. I hope you didn't receive the link, right?
I received the link, but I did not fill it yet. I
Okay,
can
yeah.
quickly
So
do
that's
it.
good. Yeah. So registration part you can do it. See, you are invited. You received that link, right? Registration, right? Just a second.
Yeah, yeah, I received.
Yeah. So you can do it. Yeah. So it's there already. Approval flow, current template in registration. So that this is how it will be, right? So it's already gone to you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, approval. So you can complete this app if you would have also that's okay. So you just complete this one and
Okay.
then we'll just do the other formalities in there. Okay.
Okay.
So in the rest of the meantime, what we do is I'll show you the other parts of this SLP side. Okay. So this is the one part, and now what I will be show you here if we need to upload anything, if we need to upload manually some supplier, okay, so you need to go in here. So always remember, whenever you need to do any administrative changes from in the SLP side, okay, so it will always be done from a SM admin. I'll just show you. This is SM admin, okay. I'll just share you. So whenever there's changes required, so you can understand the core administration and all those things is the same thing we have for the supplier registry, supplier administration. Okay, so it's a demo system. Something is not working. So if you see the same thing is coming and under administration, and if I just go again, the same admin system is here. So, but we have all the types in here. Yeah, see, it's all the types in here. So it's nothing you need to worry about. It's a related how the tool is been configured. So it's not been properly configured because it's a demo system. Okay, now first you need to see this file format. Okay, so you need to file format is from suppliers, suppliers from sourcing, supplier contacts from sourcing, qualification data, preferred supplier list, supplier factory data. So we don't use these things generally. We use purchase organization, custom display, primary supplier manager, user metrics, and supplier commodity codes, and all those things. So these are the files that you will be uploading. If in case, see, there are multiple, as I said, there are multiple ways. Sorry. One is we are following the standard process where we are inviting the supplier registry, and they are providing us all the information. Okay, rather than we are doing the manual one. But if in case if there's a supplier who's not aware or he having some internet connection and you want on urgent basis to be in the system. So in that case, you can upload that supplier data from here. Okay. So simple file type supplier import. So this is a sample file is already given to you and you need to just select it, choose the file and I said right encoding type. So the CSV file will always be having this encoding type UTF-8. It's a coding type. Like you don't need to do anything. Whenever you download it from here, you will always find UTF-8. UTF-8 is written on the left hand side in the corner of the file. So I'll show you. Just wait for that. But this is the coding. This is we generally never touch it. We never change it, but it's just there in the file.
What are the other
Okay.
encoding type, Vijay?
Sorry.
What are the other encoding type? Can you just press icon there? Encoding
Yeah.
type.
So there are multiple encoding types, but we use only the UTF-8. It's
But
something like
why do we use other encoding type? In what
so.
scenario?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So UTF-8 is a standard that we have already designed it. So previously there were some other. So if you see this US ASCII, so this is the standard that generally we use in the US region. But like it got discontinued, I think sometime before, because UTF-8 is now become a globally worldwide. We are everywhere, like we are using it. It's more of like you can say like Microsoft Outlook. So everyone is using Outlook rather than some other mailbox and all. So it's just that way. So it's a standard kind of made into the when we are uploading any files and all for UTF-8 is a mandatory in the Ariba side. So it's a standard coding. Like you can say the logic behind this, it's all with the international on that level. But generally, this is how it has been defined.
Can
So
we
we
display or hide other, or we cannot?
no, it will come here. So you don't see that's what I'm saying. So you generally by default, as you see, I just open it. So if I go here. Okay, sorry, I just go here and if you see, I'll come back here. So it will by default, the system only has been configured in a manner that it will contain the UTF-8 only. So you not to worry. And if you want, I think yes, whenever you are implementing, like so whenever the SAP guys implementing or integrating in this system, so you can hide it or you can remove this pick list. So this is nothing but basically it's a pick list. We say in a pick list like when we have number of options to choose from there, so you can hide them. So you will not be providing that data. Like you can say the SAP guys that we don't want this data to be seen, so hide it. So they will no issues in that. Sorry, anybody was saying something?
Not me.
Okay, guys. So this is how it is. So this is you can upload the suppliers from here. Okay, and
Vijay, so when you say upload the suppliers, right? Like, what is a business process? Like, is it instead of um,
so upload the
so
suppliers, right? The process that we are trying, right? The registration, the servicing request, the
right?
way we are trying to invite the supplier. So apart from that, we don't want to do that part. We just need to upload the suppliers in the system. So
So
they will
this
be
will
already.
replace the registration and request and registration process,
It will escape. It will not not over. It will skip that process. So one is like you are getting into the you are promoting to the next class from like ninth standard to 10th standard by giving exam. One is
mm,
like nowadays in Corona, the exams are being called off, and you will be automatically promoted to the 10th class. So same way. So we are uploading the files. So we are just putting all the data that we are looking for, and we'll just upload the files in there.
so then the suppliers, we don't need to do the request and registration process. So the suppliers will be auto
Yes.
registered into the system.
Yes. So in this one, what will happen is, but you will not be able to capture the other data in the sense that the question is that you are getting from the supplier.
Okay.
Okay, supplier will be there. So that the main reason is like the supplier will be there in the system for your own purposes. Like you want to send a sourcing request or sourcing project, you want to do it RFP auction, everything, you can use it. You just upload it and you can use it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how it happens.
And how
So
did you get
I'll
to this screen? Can you
yeah,
show me?
sure, no problem. I'll just show you. So this is our main page. Okay, so when like I said, so for administration related, for any administration related that we need to do is we go for administration code administration that we have just seen. But in case of SM, SM is nothing but supplier management. So supplier SLPs comes under the supplier management. So we are going from here, SM administration tab. As soon as I click this SM administration, you will find this one.
Okay.
Okay.
But Vijay, tell me one thing. Even though we are saying
Yeah.
supply management, so all things are built around supplier. So you can see the in file type you have contracts, purchase organization, everything is there. So
File, yes, yes. So you want to, so for example, you have already some suppliers in the sourcing. You want to put, like for example, like you have created supplier not in SLP. You directly created some supplier for the sourcing, like for inviting the participants, right? I'll show you that part also. So in that case, if you want to pull those suppliers into the SLP, so suppliers from sourcing you can pull. So you have invited the suppliers for RFP. For example, there's a new supplier, and you just directly invited him for an RFP event for the sourcing. Okay. Now, as you want to use a supplier further for maybe for downstream and for other purposes too also, and you want to have it complete details of that supplier, so you can invite him. Like you can upload the supplier from sourcing also. You can like bring the supplier from the sourcing side into the SLP. So these are generally the things that we do is for the standardization. Like maybe the supplier is there, but it's not properly registered, or maybe like we didn't have the complete detail of that supplier. So in that case, we can have it coming from the sourcing side. And this is the supplier contacts. So it's contacts basically. So contacts is like I showed you, right? You can have multiple people from one suppliers to receive the RFPs and like response of the emails, everything, right? So same way you can upload the supplier contacts too. It's contacts basically, right? So I showed you that the supplier contacts in there too. So these are the details that you can upload in here. So generally, like we generally use only in case whenever we require, we generally upload the suppliers only. We have very, you can say very limited use of these other things because generally whatever we require, if you are following a proper procedure of your procurement process, the industry or the specific clients always go for this complete cycle of inviting the suppliers and the proper channel. Okay, but only in this thing we use like in case of any urgencies or maybe there's some urgent requirement, you just need to upload the supply. You don't want to wait for the other process. So in this case, generally what we do is one or two supplier we edit in this file and we upload it immediately, and then we invite or we want to send some other details to that supplier, we use it. So that's how it is used generally. So very few people use it on a urgent basis, oh sorry, on a regular basis. It will be, this tool generally this thing is used only on on an urgent basis in that case. Okay.
After uploading suppliers like this, like so they don't need to fill the questionnaire, or is
No,
there any
still, yeah, so still
subsequent step?
no, still you can send it. So there are multiple ways. So first is whenever you are uploading the supplier, so you can set the status like whether it's a non-invited, invited. So if you upload the supplier as non-invited, so they will be just like a created, like the first step that we have done it, right? So I'll just show you there. So if we upload the supplier, we have option to select which state we want to be. It will be remain into the system. I'll just a second. I'll show you. Sorry. So you have, for example, you upload a supplier, okay, and a team is there. And if you see view supplier profile, so supplier creation date. So you can also have it not invited. Here it's invited, it's not invited, or here you can also say the created date. So you just have this one, okay. So the status of this one is not invited. Even for qualification, you can say the status you can upload is not qualified and not integrated. Sorry, not integrated is different. So this is the status you can have it, whether it's invited, not invited. So on basis of this one, so basically what happens is not invited and invited. There's also one more thing in here, that whenever you are trying to invite a supplier in any sourcing event, right? So sourcing event, I'm saying from the RFP or auction perspective, right? So in that case, if you want to add a supplier which is there in the system but it's not registered, so you have that option when you are configuring there. I will show you that one too, that you can add only those suppliers who are registered in an RFP or in auction. Otherwise, what will happen is if it is a supplier is not registered, you will not be able to add it there. So where exactly I'm trying to say is, I'll just show you quickly that part too. Back to the supplier request. Cancel home. I'll just try to create sourcing project. I'll take a quick project, entitled sourcing project for SLP. Okay, test project flow. I'll try create. So title can only handle spaces. SLP. Sorry, 2, 3. Okay, event type RFP. Okay, create. Okay, supplier. Okay, so here it is the supplier part. Okay, in the rules also, I think I can show you the rules first. That would be if it is visible currency, market feedback, feedback for good scoring, participant response, people can participate submit hybrids, show from the market response. Indicate participation. So then, so it's not in there. So here it is. So whenever you need to invite the participants, so if you click here the invite participants, so whatever the in what do you say, the participants in here you can invite, okay, but we have a will share that one too. We have that tag, okay. So if the supplier is not registered, so if I say here region commodity, and we have this option in here. Okay, this is the search. So basically, what we have is we have the option to search here that the supplier, if it is not invited, it will not visible to you. If we have that thing set up in the background, so that we will see into the type of the when we are creating the templates in there. So I'll show you in there. Okay. So this is how it happens. So it will not if it is supplier is only in a it's a invited but not registered, then it will not visible to you as we have set up the condition. So this is how it works in there. Okay, and this is how you can say like you have created a new supplier here directly but not in the SLP. So from if you have created a new supplier here, and then you need to do the that one that I said, so suppliers from the sourcing, so you have directly created in here only for the sourcing side, and those suppliers were not used into the SLP, so you can upload the suppliers there also. Okay, so this is how it happens. This is how it will link the one that we are discussing there.
So
Okay,
I'm confused, Vijay. So you're saying like this is a different way of creating the supplier?
yes, so this is only for sourcing. Like if it is you need urgently and a supplier, so you can invite partner, you can create a supplier. This is not from SLP side. This is different module. That's what I'm saying. It's a sourcing module.
Okay. So you can
Okay.
either create the supplier in through SLP module or through sourcing module.
Right, right. So there's a difference. I'll tell you. So SLP side, if you if you create a supplier, that supplier will be used throughout the system, either it's a sourcing or it's a contract management. But if
Okay.
you are creating the supplier only in the sourcing, that you are only creating the supplier for sourcing. It cannot be used from a downstream side. Okay, in SLP, it's a standard like if you can say it's a one place where the
Control.
supplier should be there. Yeah, control. It's a control center where the supplier should be there, and then you can assign it to where you want to exactly use it. If you create a supplier here in the sourcing project, it will remain in here. If you want to use it into the other places, you need to again flow the data to the SLP side.
Okay.
Okay,
think it's
so
like, Suresh, it's like one-time supplier or kind of thing, You're creating a
Yeah.
skeleton supplier there in sourcing.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Just
if we create the supplier in sourcing, and if we want to bring that same supplier to SLP, so again we need to uh, do the same like um, How do we create? Like, is it
So then in this case, like, you need to go to SM administration and bring supplier from sourcing, the one option that we just showed earlier.
like request and registration process?
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah. So, we have a question for you, like, the information, basic information that we maintain in a supplier in sourcing or in SLP, is that information different, or like information remains same for both cases?
No, so basic information is the same thing, like the same like your name and the supplier name, and so basic information is same. So the name and everything will be remain same, no issues in that part. It's just that the details you will not be captured. Even though in case of that one, we register the supplier, okay, we register the supplier, and this questionnaire thing and everything is not been initiated sometimes in their side. Okay, so we what happens is whenever we are doing the sourcing side, so we quickly just want to add a supplier, we want to invite him to the in the RFP or the auction. So in that way, so just take some time. Okay, once we will be doing this sourcing side, you will be able to understand a little bit more clearly, because what happens in then in that case we'll be having a demo in that manner, that you guys will be logging from a supplier side, and you need to submit the bids and everything, so you will be able to relate this thing little better there,
Sure.
what exactly is coming in there. Okay,
Understood. I have one more question, though,
please,
before you proceed.
please. Yeah,
Uh,
please.
let's say you have some basic information that you are maintaining in Ariba, for supplier. Okay.
Okay,
And now basically you want to integrate this supplier as well as with your ERP. Okay.
okay, okay,
Then it's some kind of interface. I do not want to go into that detail now, basically. That's now thing is, like, basically, let's say ERP. ERP has 20 fields that require some information, which are mandatory fields. Okay. In
okay,
Ariba, you maintain only 10 fields. So rest of the
okay,
10 fields are not available in Ariba at all.
okay,
Okay. So how you will ensure that, or like what is the process around that? Like, because when you're interfacing it, you need to default some value. Let's say your reconciliation account or maybe some other account, some other information. How,
right, right, right.
how will you manage this part that, your vendor with some information or maybe pre-default information is automatically created in ERP?
Okay,
What is
so if you, yes, yes, I got you. So see, if you see here on my screen is, for example, you have supplier name there, supplier ID is there, supplier
Mhm.
address, okay, or one more field we can take is supplier location, okay, or sorry, region, okay, just a second, or region, or no, not region, I think we can say what we can say, supplier name, supplier ID, address. Okay, just leave it with three. Okay, so what happens is, if you see, these are the three fields in there in Ariba. Okay, and in ERP there are multiple other fields, and you
Mhm.
want to first you want to add these three fields in there with the Ariba, in the sorry, with the ERP. But
Mhm.
for example, the supplier ID here, the field is not available in ERP, or the same thing can happen. There's some field available in ERP, but it's not available here in
Mhm.
Ariba.
Mhm.
Okay, in that case, if the field is not available in Ariba, then we can request, we can use the request that please like create one field and map it to the ERP ID or ERP field which is already maintained in ERP side. Then they
Mhm.
need to map it. So in the mapping, what happens is, what they will do is, they will add the supplier ID with the vendor ID. Vendor ID is in SAP.
Mhm.
Okay, so this way they will map it, and the mapping goes in a manner that first they need to make the changes into the ERP side. That, for example, I'll tell you, supplier ID in Ariba is of 10 digits. Sorry, 10 digits. Okay, and the supplier ID, if you say in SAP Ariba, oh sorry, ERP, is also of 10 digits. If not, if for example, I can say, like, if in ERP the vendor ID is around 12 digits.
Mhm.
Now we have an issue. What issue is, if this is, I'm telling you totally from a integration side, and it is at all technical. So these things generally consultants don't do. This has been all done by the SAP guys. SAP means SAP Ariba, the main team, the guys who sell this solution. Okay, but I'm giving you the idea about this. What happens is now in this one, if you see, the 12 digits are there from the vendor ID and 10 digits are from the supplier ID. Okay. Now you have created a supplier in Ariba with a 10-digit ID. Okay. Now, if you see this one, this digits will be whenever the supplier will be sent to the ERP system via integration, the 10 digits will get into the place of the 12 digits. So we still have 2 digits left, right? So it will easily go in there. There's no mismatch, right?
Mhm.
But in case, for example, we have first created the vendor into the ERP, and the vendor has 12 digits. Now, once this data is coming from the ERP system to the Ariba system, it will give error because there's no 12 digits. So it will throw an error to you,
Mhm.
right? Right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
so this is nothing but this is known as the character length of that field. Whenever there's a field being added, there's whenever the field is, so you see the string, what is the name of the field is been defined. If you see from a from a solution language, or when we create the programs, so we define the field length, we define the variables in there. So what is the length should be there of that field, and everything does how many digits alphanumeric data should be stored or that one. So these things need to be defined. So if that is not here, as this field is small, so it will give you an error. So whenever we have this configuration needs to be changed, like we need to have this to the 12 digit also. So in that case, we need to raise a request to these guys. These guys change the program of that field from a backend side. Program in the sense they will increase the character length for this field from 10 to 12 digit. Okay, so this is happens all in the backend level at the very top level, like with the SAP Ariba guys, and then we need to map it. In the map it in the sense is we have a file where we upload the files. We can say like this one, when we are doing the integration part, so we have some files that we upload where we define that which field needs to be mapped with which field. So that is where we will be defining that supplier ID field will be matched with the vendor ID field. So first, they need to make the changes into the program. Once the program is been set, then we need to do this one. Apart from this one, the same thing I said, like whenever we are doing the integration, we also need the guys from the developer, ABAPer, from the ERP side. Because, for example, if you consider the same scenario in a reverse way, select 12 digits in the Ariba and 10 digits in the vendor, and we want this 10 digits to be extended to the 12. Okay,
Mhm.
in this case, the ERP guy is basically like the developer or the developer. They need to change this. They need to change in the system there that the system should accept 12 digits. So this is on a company level. If you see
Yeah,
like
but
developer developers,
it's not, no, you do not want to involve SAP or someone else, to increase the, because like field length in SAP are generally fixed basically.
yes, but you can change it. Like whenever we are implementing a new thing, so we need this thing and we need to change it. Otherwise, we will not be able to accommodate. How we will be able to accommodate this request then. So that's why I said, like integration, we always do that. This is how it happens because there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes into the program. All these new fields come into the ERP. So ERP system also should have the configuration in a manner that they need to accept. For example, I tell you, whenever there is a PO, whenever there is a PO comes from Ariba side, automatically, like there's a bad jobs in the background, like they pull the data every like 1 hour or 2 hours, all depend on how you time the cycle. 2 hours, every 2 hours it will pull the data of a PO which has been created in Ariba and will put all the data into the ERP system. Now, in the ERP, now you will not be knowing that who has created the PO. As you have seen the ERP screen, on the top it comes as the PO created by this person or that person, right? In that manner. So in that case, if the PO is coming from the ERP system, oh sorry, from the Ariba side, it will written as that the PO come from the Ariba system. Ariba system in the sense like Ariba, some program name is there. So you can understand from the very as soon as you open the PO with ME23 and transaction, the very front screen, you can see on the top that the PO is coming from Ariba side. So easily you can maintain. So that thing is needs to be configured. So we configure that thing whenever you see in the Ariba side. So there's a field in there whenever we open the PO in there, that where it is coming from. So these all things needs to be maintained, mapped, or required to create in the system. This all modification will be done by the developer or the developers from the ERPs. Okay, so this is how it works. So whenever we have an integration, I'm telling you this is an integration scenario. Whenever we need an integration of Ariba with any other whoever the ERP system, whether it could be Oracle or it could be SAP or some other one, so we need the guys from that side too. We need the guys from the middleware side too, and then we have the guys that we guys work from side is the SAP Ariba guys. So we also take support from the SAP team. Okay.
Mhm.
Any questions? Any query?
Yeah, not this thing, but so you are saying that means if I need to have some more fields, so every time, like like you are maintaining 10 additional fields, so every time I will have to take help from SAP, sorry, Ariba team, SAP Ariba team to configure those two fields. I cannot default some value in so that middleware take care of those things.
No, no, it needs to be configured. And I told you, right? If you want to buy 5 packs, right? Remember 5 fields, you need new fields.
Mhm.
You need to buy it from Ariba,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So it's like that. So that's what I'm saying. So it's not like that. The system you can like change every day or that in that manner. You can't do that. So it's these are the things like see this Ariba implementation takes lots of time. It's been long. It's a quite long process. If the system is the organization is big and you having lot of changes, lot of things that you want to incorporate in Ariba, it sometimes take more than 6 months or 8 months just to implement this. Okay, because what happens is lot of things needs to be discussed with the business that what exactly you want, because whenever you are going to buy a new solutions, so industry doesn't know. First of all, we need to provide the KT to be guide that this is a system functionalities and features. Now you tell us how you're going to accommodate according to your scenario, like what you want your as is process in the sense the way your current procurement cycle is going on. You want to completely map that cycle into the new Ariba. You want some changes as some new features are there in the Ariba, you want to use them instead of your old ones. So all those things needs to be discussed on a very minute level, uh, beginning of the process of implementation, and then we need to find out all those things. So it's just a quite long process. There's a lot of discussion happens with the business, and we need the procurement experts to understand, because these are all process based. So once it's the process is set, so you generally you can't you will not be changing it on a daily basis. It will remain as it is from long time. So that's how it happens basically. Okay.
Okay.
So this is if you see, this is majorly from a SLP side I have showed you. Apart from this one, I'll show you in the next cycles about the files and everything in here, whatever the files that we have, as we don't have as of now. So that's more of it, supply request and registration. So I'll suggest like as you guys both have received it, so complete your registration, because it will also come handy in the next sessions also.
So, Vijay, what will happen? Like, okay, after the request and registration process, what is the next step?
So the next
After we
step is a
fill in
little,
the questionnaire, what will happen?
yeah. Yeah, so once the registration is done, so your supplier will be registered in here. After that, there's a simple process of qualification and disqualification. So qualification and disqualification is nothing big in there. So as I said, right? So if you this supplier is there, okay. For example, you have added this supplier, okay. Then we have this. Uh, we have this data profile, public profile, ERP data. So if you see company code, and these are all the details in here. So what we basically do is we qualify the supplier based on region or commodity. So that thing will come once like you will be completing the process in here. So this thing will be like you can sorry, you can disqualify the supplier. So qualification listing happens like, for example, the supplier is of from multiple regions. One supplier is from the New York region and one supplier is from the Texas region. Okay, same supplier is providing service in both the areas. So we can have the supplier approved for Texas region but not approved for New York region. So in that case, what will we say is the supplier is disqualified for the New York region. So this is basically qualification and disqualification just to ensure, just to maintain that the supplier is not qualified for that product to that region, just to like maintain it, so that you can have in mind that so you do sometimes the blacklisting of the supplier, right? So the supplier is not good for this one, so you can also do this way. So that's the simple process. So once you will do the complete the registration, I'll show you that. So it's just that you need to simply put in front of that the supplier is on what do you say, this qualified for these regions and the commodities, and supplier is disqualified for these regions and commodities. It's not necessary you need to also maintain the disqualification. You can just simply have the qualification there. No need that you really want to disqualify any supplier. Okay.
After the request and registration, then qualification or disqualification.
Yes, that's all.
So that's the cycle.
Yeah, that's the cycle. That's the standard cycle that we generally follow. And one more thing, there's a catch in this one, that qualification is, for example, if a supplier is disqualified for a particular region, the system will not stop you to creating a purchase order or sending the RFP for that region for that supplier. That's the kind of, you can say it's a drawback, or you can say
So
it's
say that
a.
again.
Can you please?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
please?
yeah, answer. Yes, I will repeat it. So there's a drawback from a system side. For example, you have blocked this, you have disqualified the supplier for New York region. Okay, as we discussed. So two regions is supplying, Texas and New York. So we have disqualified the supplier for New York region. Okay, but in case, as might be, there's a new buyer comes into the organization and he tries to create a PO, or he wants to send the RFP to that supplier, and he by mistakenly selected that supplier for New York region. So he can do that. He will be able to do that. Supplier, the system will not stop him. There's no stopping of the system that it will like allow you to give a pop-up.
One thing, do we have a different number for supplier based on New York region and or Texas, or we will
No,
have
no, no. Supplier is same. Supplier remains same. It's just that the commodities and the categories who he's allowed to do. Like we have this purchase organization, right?
Uh-huh.
I'll just so for example, I'll just show you.
Yeah,
So if
I
we
wanted to ask that question. So when you clicked on my supplier profile, right? How did it select
right,
purchase organization as 3000?
just a second. These things you generally assign it. So these things generally you define it to the supply like just a second, ERP data, right? Under the ERP data company code. So this is by default. See, as of now, it is coming as a by default. But once you have the setup system, so here is the select company.
Okay.
So if you
Yeah,
see only
yeah.
one in here, yeah,
That was my question basically. That is why I was trying to understand. You
yeah.
said that by default. So this is the information I was looking for. Where do you define these things as by default?
So these things will be uploaded into the system, like the company code that I'll show you, right? It's there. It's here. Just a second. Back to the supplier request. Back to the
Because this is
supplier.
the information I was looking for, because there are certain information that comes as by default, and when do
Yes, yes, yes.
you run that?
So if you manage, and we go to the core administration. So always whenever the data is coming, you need to go to first this thing. I hope by this time you guys able to relate it, right? Manage core administration data import. Here is company code. So if you see import company codes, so this is the data is will coming from. So this is the files. So if you see, this is the one export company code. So we have a special session for this one, but just give me some time. Maybe by tomorrow, if we have this Excel thing being sorted out, so I'll keep you showing in this one. So
Hey,
we generally keep a SAP. Sorry,
you want me to write an email to CF Foundation, or you will take care of installing
no,
this
no.
thing?
I'll take care. I'll take no issues. I'll take care of this one. I already said these guys. I think might be they were just working on that one. So we'll have it by today evening only. So tomorrow session we will do that. Okay. So this is how it happens. So anyways, we have a session scheduled for this one, but we always, in the meantime, as you see, like we, whenever we are giving a session, we always need to come back in here to check multiple things in here. So this is how it is. So if you see, this is all the data, it is coming from here, export commodity code, and you can export it and you can check it. So if you guys have access, so you can also click and see it. So it's easy for you also. So it's kind of a practice for you. So you guys have the access, right? The system.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
give it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, it's easy for you. So you can export it. You can just go there and click the export. So it's pretty easy for you to understand what exactly coming out here. And you can ask the questions to me also. So
Sure.
No,
that will be better.
Vijay, but since it's a remote desktop for us too, right? Like it won't work.
Okay, like the same issue that I'm facing, you are also facing.
Yeah, I think it will be the same because we are also using the remote desktop.
Okay, I'm not sure. Like maybe you can try it. If it is not, so definitely we are working on this one. But you can see it. So if you see here, as of now, I can't like it's little jumbled in there. But so if you see this UTF-8 is by default coming. So once you have a proper format, word wrap. Control Z, that's not working. So if you see, this is UTF-8. So the very first, it's coming under the double colon. So whenever you are getting any file, it will come into this one. Okay. So this is the UTF-8 file, and later on I'll show you. This is purchasing unit. So if you see, this purchasing unit is coming from here. So these are the things that we define in here: company code, categories. So this data will once will there in the system, it will pick it up. Okay. So this is how it works. So we'll show you in that one. I'll show you once I have this one tomorrow, maybe in the tomorrow session, I'll show you. Apart
But
from this one and anything, yeah, please, sorry.
yeah, I think Vijay, even with this, right? Like I think Pankaj's question is not answered. Like how when I how it was assigned like the 3000 as a mandatory like by the default purchasing on my profile.
Okay, just a second. I think SM administration. Let me just see if it is able to see the data in here or not. Supplier, supplier. Commodity. What was that? Commodity code? Oh no, that was company
No,
code,
it
right?
was a purchasing org.
Purchasing org. So purchasing org data. So if you see here, I'll just try to export. You see, export your currently available data. So as I selected the purchase of data, and whatever the data is available in the system, we can export it, right? So
Hmm.
this point is clear. So okay, just a second. Export, if it is getting open. So if you see, this is when VDR SM3000, so it's coming in here. Okay, so this is the data. Purchase or related data is already 3000 is maintained in this one, so that's why it's picking up. And the from where exactly it's coming, it will be coming. Just a second, I'll show you that one too. Okay, so if we click the download the sample file here, if it is sample. See, ERP vendor ID, source system, purchase organization, party. So this is the supplier data, and where we maintain, it's here. When we want to upload it, we need to maintain here, and the purchase organization is coming from there only. Okay, I'll show you that one, but it's still the same way. Just a second. Let me go in there one more time and manage. Sorry, for administration, purchase org. Sorry, purchase. Okay, purchase purchase group. Okay, purchase group. Purchase group, export. Okay, okay, let me just purchase group export. Mhm. Why it is coming like this? Mhm. Sorry. Can you guys, any one of you try it, like download this one, this file, purchase group, if possible, if you guys are able to get it. Purchase export. Mhm.
Pankaj, are you trying or you want me to try?
Yeah, you can try. Like basically, I'm trying to understand this file. Like I'm always. Hey, so Suresh, oh sorry, Vijay.
Yeah.
When we download this file, so we get this file in this format only, or like we get it in CSV format.
Yeah, CSV format. Whenever you download it, it comes generally in a CSV format.
I would recommend maybe like Suresh and Syed can interrupt me. So then probably we should not look into this file. After you get your CSV thing, it's
Mm-hmm.
more confusing. Because here I cannot understand that how we will feed this information. Unless you tell me the way we should do it, this is the way we yes. If you add it in CSV file, I will understand. But the structure that you're opening in Notepad is confusing me. At least for me.
Yeah, so that's the answer. So you try to like open it file from your side. I just asked, right? Is it available for you? Like, can you guys download it?
Suresh, did you try?
I have to try 1 second.
Yeah. So Pankaj, from this data perspective, so guys, no problem in that one. So I'll definitely show you the data and all the file formats in this one. Okay, once we have this Excel. Apart from that one, any points from you want to like any queries or any points from a system perspective, like where to navigate and how, what's the process of supplier, and anything on that part?
Yeah, Vijay, I'm still not able to understand. So let's say like we create a new
Yeah.
supplier. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say
Okay.
like some Syed name or okay. So
Okay.
once we create the supplier, so we are like basically we are starting from the request process, correct?
Right. Right. Right.
So we start from the request, then
Okay.
the registration, it goes to the registration. So where does it is getting assigned the purchasing org? Because when I'm requesting, I haven't assigned any purchasing org, correct?
Right. Right. So
So
it's not a mandatory data. Okay. Okay. So in that case, so
so
this
can
is
we
how
create
the,
one? Create one.
okay. Okay. I'll create one. Create sourcing request. Okay. So supplier name is like test, for 17.4, test 717.404. Okay. Legal name is test 1704 PVT Limited. Okay. We have the street, uh, KG Street, and line 2 is same KG Street. Okay, and line 3 we can leave it. City is maybe Delhi. Postal code is 11094. Country India. Okay, and region we have Delhi. Okay, DMV number we can leave it. Contact number. Okay, contact number is the, can put it here as KD Sharma. Last name, sorry, just put the last name as Sharma. Okay, contact email ID. Email ID. Okay, I'll just put something is like @gmail.com. Contact number is something. Okay, category region and here. So if you see, select here. select all. So this is the one that we have selected. Okay, all. And category, we also come commodities and all we have selected from here. So we selected all. Okay, and if you go in here, region, so we have this one Asia Pacific, but we selected all. Okay, and the requested new request, submit. Okay, I'm just submitting this one. Now we have this supplier management. So we have the test supplier, page down, page up, supplier request, test 1704. Okay, submitted. It's there. So if you see, this is the information that is we have filled, right? This is in there, and
Right.
we have, right. So if you see,
So
there are a
so
lot of
far
information.
we haven't mentioned any purchasing org.
Yes. So, but if you see, like there will be a lot of data will be coming by default. So just a second. Okay, let me just done it. Done, and in approval. Okay, let me just see first view. I'll just approve it. Approve. Okay, confirm. Done. Okay. And supplier review approval. Click OK. Already. Supplier request manager. Yeah, category manager. Approve. Okay. Confirm. Approved. Okay. Test 1704. So view supplier profile. And this is the supplier we created. This is not invited, not qualified, not original supplier, demo user, approved by demo user. And contacts. So as we have now, we have only one contact in here. Okay. And then ERP data. Okay. So now if you see the general vendor information, so a lot of details is coming on based on this one, like defined by the system. It's already been defined by the system. Also, if you see this business partner and business partner type, supplier. Okay. So
Mhm.
these are the things like it comes by default by the system. If you can see now this ERP vendor ID, the system is not integrated with our ERP system, but still that data is there, right? So some
Right.
data is whenever you are getting some details in the system, so system maintains it by default. So it's up to you how you getting it configured when you are designing your solution. So what I'm trying to say is this is a little bit of a test system. So you are using uh, I think some of you guys also using your actual systems, right? You are having access of Ariba.
I do not.
I
Uh,
don't I
Oh,
don't either.
okay, no
we
problem, no
are
problem.
relying on you, Vijay. Like if you have something, you can show no live system. But unfortunately,
So
I do not have.
see, live system like so. Actually, the live system we can't show. This it's all I have is all of my clients. So as you can see, these are all. If we work in the industry, so we can't show those ones. It kind of a breach of the contracts kind of thing. So that's how it is. So, but
Mhm.
like no problem, that's fine, that's fine. So I'll tell you. Okay, so this is then if you see this is the company code, this is the GL and everything. So these data comes from there. So as of now, you can see only there's one company code. There's no other. If there were multiple, then you can say like there's something has been not defined in here. Okay, so this is basic. What do you say? Uh, by default, it's coming in there. And company code 3000. If you see here, we just downloaded the files in there. This is it. Here it is at.
Yeah, maybe like maybe tomorrow after you have the CSV file, because I want to understand that if you have multiple company codes and this data is unique for each company code, so
Mhm.
how will be loading this data in Ariba and what will be the structure of file? That's something I need to, I'm trying to understand. Because right now the format it's coming as it's not
Yeah, yeah.
very helpful. So
Okay.
we will see that. So let's not waste time. We can continue with from here. But yeah, we
Okay.
definitely need CSV access. We'll work out tomorrow. If we need to reschedule this class, I'm fine with that. But unless we have, because last week also we faced the same problem when we were trying to visit these files, and that
Yes, yes.
create confusion and does not clarify some doubts basically. So let's ensure that it's done by tomorrow, or else we can reschedule.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure,
that's
sure.
what
No
our
problem.
question is. So if there are multiple company codes, because like usually like there will be many company codes and many purchasing orgs, right? So how do we select a specific company code for that supplier? And how do we
Okay, okay,
maintain the company codes for purchasing org specific data for that supplier?
okay. Sure, sure. I'll show you that one. So okay. So just give me some time. So I'll fix this one, and in the this one I'll show you that part. Okay.
So Vijay, I'm able to log in and so I went to the core administration and site manager under data import and export.
Okay.
Okay. So here you just want me to select anything like,
Company code. Just search in that on the top bar. Just search company code.
okay. Yeah, import company codes. So I click on import. Now it's showing me load, create, update only, deactivate options. Which one should I select?
Sorry, come again. Sorry, come again.
It now, once I click on import, it's giving me options like load, create, update only, and deactivate.
No. You need to download. So export. That's export. You need to click on the next button to the. You cancel this one. Cancel this action,
Okay.
and click on export. Import is basically we need to upload files. Export is we need to download. So what you need to do is you search and click on the export button, and once you find the company code file there, so just click on the export button in front of that one. It will be on the right hand side in the middle somewhere.
Okay. Specify an adapter resource
All, all,
source
all.
all. Okay, it's downloaded. So I'm clicking on open. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. It's asking me to select
Okay. So
what
you have
program should I use.
so you just try if you have the Excel, if you can. And in the meantime, if we get this thing done, like maybe we'll tomorrow, possible, we'll start also the sourcing sourcing part. Okay. So what I just want you to guys is just try to go a little bit on this part, sourcing, create of sourcing projection and all. So you could you would be having some more doubts and more clarity that you can ask during the session.
Sure.
Okay. So sourcing project related, you can search even though. So it's just for your knowledge. So you can also Google it and ask like us what how to do the sourcing projects and all those information there also. So whatever the information you get from there, you can learn it. And if you face any like you will be coming, then you will be coming some questions in your mind. Okay. So those questions and those things you can ask when we once start this sourcing project session. Okay.
Sure.
So
Okay.
Vijay, so supplier management, only these four things, like, I mean, request, registration, qualification or disqualification, only these four topics.
Yes, these are the major things, and these are the main topics that we cover that we get into it. Okay,
Okay.
so these are the main things in here
The
in this
supplier
organization.
performance management falls under SLP.
Yes, so previously it was there. Now I think like very few people use it. Even like we are not using it in our like latest clients because this registration qualification is quite solved that purpose in there. And as you can see, most of the things is SLP. So SLP is basically an updated version. So previously there was like around some SLP is I think 3 years old now. And before that there's SLP was not there, and we have this SIPM and the supply performance management, SIPM. So previously known as SIPM. So but later on this thing has been renamed, and this new module has been introduced by the Ariba guys. Okay. So apart from this one, also I'll show you. So basically, if you see that that performance and all those things, so uh, there's in the sourcing also we have something like grading. We provide the grading to the supplier responses, and there's another module. If you see, there is a supplier risk. There's a module in there. but frankly speaking, like very few people, hardly I haven't seen anyone is using it, and nowadays it's very limited to that one. So that's how it is. Okay,
Sure.
so that tomorrow in the session we will have some better understanding of these files and scenarios. Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, sure. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks,
thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
thank you,
Thanks.
thank you guys.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, thank you. Bye.